All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We are looking back at my monthly figures, not weekly figures, Dean. Last month, it was a negative month. Oh, why I keep saying week. It was a negative month. However, it could have been a lot worse. It was looking really, really dire at one point. We was over 1,000 square foot down, and we pulled it somewhat down. We rallied towards the end. However, this month, right now, we're in August, we are over 1,000 square foot down. So we'll see how that goes. But like I said, it's a fine balancing act between revenue and we're pushing the revenue. So obviously then we are going to lose square footage as well. So that is part of the course. Right. Okay. So let's get into this. Amount of quotes per month. Well, amount of quotes in the month was 240. Really good. Really good. That is 7.74 quotes per day. Number of reservations was 59. So that's a conversion rate from reservations, quotes to reservations of 25%. We want to be around about 30%. So it's not good. It's not bad. Anywhere between 25 and 30% is acceptable, but we want to be aiming towards the 30% mark. The conversions, the number of move-ins, so new people moved in, was 51. That means we had a conversion rate of 21.25%. Again, we want to be on this figure, we want to be around about 20%. Well, 20% the worst case, and 25% is the area we're aiming for. So we're in the okay zone. The okay zone. Let's have a look. What else have we got here? Cancelled reservations. Now, these are slightly going up. So we've had 16 cancelled reservations and we've had 2 expired reservations. I will ask the team about this more. It's quite a lot of cancelled and expired reservations there. So we just want to keep an eye on that and wonder, are we booking too early when people aren't really the right fit for us? I don't know. So we've got to be careful. We'll see what happens. Okay, where did our quotes come from and where did our move-ins come from, more importantly? So Google was a brilliant performer last month, as always, as ever. But this month, it is over 50% of our move-ins. It is over 60% of our move-ins as well. So let's get into it. So Google, number of inquiries was 172. Just going to take a swig of tea. So that's percentage. So 172 inquiries, it was 72% of our inquiries. We had 31 move-ins and we had 2,120 square foot moved in from Google. So that was 61% of our overall move-ins. 61%. Normally it's around about 49-ish. So Google performed. Do you know what? I don't think it was a case of Google performing really well. I think it was the other levers not performing as well as they normally do. So Google is the static. It is always the same. We know that once we put some money into Google, we'll get some money out of Google. And that's the idea with Google. That's the idea with marketing. You put money in, you get money out. You get what's called an ROI, return on investment. Sorry if I'm teaching you guys how to suck eggs. It's very, very basic marketing, I know. But yeah, Google is just consistent. Word of mouth, 22 inquiries came from word of mouth. And that was 9% of our overall inquiries. We had 6 move-ins and we had 510 square foot moved in. That was 12% of our overall move-ins. Signs was 31 inquiries. And that was 13% of our overall move-ins. That was 13% of our overall inquiries. That total new customers came was 6, and total square foot moved in was 550. So that was 14.47%. So 14% of our overall move-ins. Level 24, interestingly, it was number of inquiries 1. That was less than 1% of our overall inquiries, and nobody moved in. Social media, we had 3 number of inquiries from social media. And that was 1.25% of our overall inquiries. Social media just performs normally like this. And for anybody who's spending money on social media, not retargeting ads, but normal ads, you're wasting your money. You are wasting your money. And by the way, I keep saying this, I'm a massive advocate for social media marketing, but in the right industry and in the right context. This is not the right industry. I've made a lot of money in other companies from social media marketing, but it's not. So please don't think I'm down on social media marketing, because I'm not. I think it's incredible. I think the price is going up, and I'm in groups where all they do is talk about social media marketing, and I get it. I'm a convert. I love social media marketing. However, it's got to be in the right industry, and This is not, it's an intent-based marketing. So people have an intent, they have a need and a want right there and then. So if you're canvassing to a cold audience, which is a normal audience on Facebook or a localized audience, you're wasting your money unless it's an expensive branding exercise. By the way, retargeting works on social media. So retargeting, brilliant. But anything other than that, it's no good. It is no good. Used before was 3. That was 1.25% of our overall inquiries. We had 3 move-ins for 210 square foot. That was 6%. 6% of our overall move-ins came from used before. What else? There was other. There was 1 leaflet actually, which was 100 square foot that moved in, and there was 4 from referrals, removal referrals. 310 square foot moved in there as well. So it just shows that you've got to be tight with your removal companies because they bring in square foot. Okay, before I get into my Google ad spend, and it was a biggie again, then we'll have a quick word from our sponsor. Excuse me. God, I do love a cup of tea in the morning. Honestly, the worst thing about going abroad, you just don't get the same cups of tea. And I've tried taking a tea bag with me. I've tried taking my own cup with me. I just think, I don't know, is it the milk? It never tastes the same. That maybe the water's not hot enough. I just can't get a good brew when I'm abroad. And I love my brews. Right, let's get back onto it then. Google ad spend for the month was £4,232.81. The actual cost per move-in was £161.54. The actual cost of advertising this month for Google actual cost of advertising this month on Google per square foot of move-ins was £2. That £2 is a little bit higher than normal. It's normally around about £1.36 again. So the cost per move-in was normal, £1.36, but the actual cost per square foot of move-ins was higher than normal. That's £2. So let's have a look. Car parking spaces. We had number of car parking spaces where 51. Oh, sorry, 51 car parking spaces. It said no car parking. That's why I looked at car parking. So new move-ins was 51. That was a square foot moved in of 3,800. That is not particularly good. Google performed. All the rest of them didn't perform very well. So square foot moved out. So 3,800 of total square foot moved in, of new square foot moved in, sorry. And that's not including room transfers, etc., and upgrading. So the total amount of square foot moved in, all square foot moved in, was 4,200 square foot. And we had a square foot moved out of 4,590. I will get this right. A net result of 3,000. Jesus, no, I won't get it right. A negative 309. I had a cup of tea. I had my cups of tea. That's the problem. So net result is negative 390. And do you know what? That was acceptable after the start we've had. 1 second, just take another swig of tea. It's like a podcast for a cup of tea. It's like an advertisement for cups of tea. So the amount of rooms moved in was 57. Amount of rooms that moved out was 57 as well. So we got 401 internal rooms occupied at the end of July. Amount of containers moved in is 5. Amount out is 4. We've had a net result of 1 plus container. So we've got 27 containers rented out. No car parking spaces in and out. So we're still at 13. Total square foot occupied is 32,870. So we've had 32,870 square foot is occupied right now. The percentage for store is 89.49%, but we've added another 2 containers on this. So the amount of square foot we've got to let has gone up. So therefore it diluted a little bit the occupancy. Mind you, I believe we're about 86% now after we've had a horrendous start to August, but we'll get to that in other episodes. Number of lock sales, we've had 61% conversion with our lock sales. Packaging material, we took £1,230.17. The average move-in for merchandise was £24.12. We aim for 25 quid, so that's okay. Let's have a look. The true period revenue, ex VAT, so it's rent, not including VAT, insurance and late charges, was £75,674. That has been an increase of £5,893.49 from last month. That is critical because, yes, we've lost square footage. It hasn't been a great month on that sort of surface, but with the revenue, it's gone up nearly £6,000, which is massive because that £6,000 will go straight to your bottom line, guys. So £6,000 a month, that is £72,000 a year. It makes a huge difference. 72 grand. Who wouldn't rather have that? And that is because we've done the 20% increase and we're moving all that forward. So yeah, that's I'll write a note for Angela. Price increases. Right, so the the average sold insurance sold. We took £235,000 in new insurance last month. That is an average of £4,607 per moving. Number of times the van was rented out was 20. Transit was 21. Luton was 23. And so the total van revenue was £1,695. Completely pays for itself, my friends. So FIFO reviews, very low on the reviews this month. 3 Google reviews for service, all 5-star. 2, these are FIFO reviews. 2 FIFO reviews for product, all 5-star as well. And 0 Google reviews. Wow. Let's have a look at churn rate. That's the only thing I haven't mentioned. Excuse me. A square foot. Here we go. Square foot. Yep, dead on last month as well. Dead on last month. So it was 14.28% last month, and this month that was in June, and July it was 14.25. Incredibly consistent there. Incredibly consistent. So we do want that to get our chain down, but we wanted to get it under 10%. Ideally, that's where we want it to be. That's when we know we've got a mature site, when it's under 10%. Beverly is well under 10%. So yeah, we want it to be under 10%. And the newer your site, the higher your churn rate. The older your site, the lower your churn rate, my friends. I've already done the revenue check in previous months. Let's just see if I can quickly find that, because I believe it was a very good month with revenue. James at Stormont. Let's have a look at Stormont. Here we go. Revenue check for August. No, that's not the one. Bear with me, guys. Revenue check for July. Here we go. So true period revenue is £90,210.79. The actual revenue was £98,434.76. So it was positive £8,223.97. Some people paid for long term, etc. That's the reason why there. Beverly, true period revenue £15,117.21. Actual revenue was £14,911.86. So it was negative £205.35, which is nothing. And also, it does help that the start of a month when it started, etc. So that was in August, July's. It definitely helped July anyway in terms of revenue. All right, my friends, I've got to shoot because I've got a meeting. That's why I'm trying to do this as quick as humanly possible. Thank you for listening, and I will see you soon.